So, you know the people who seem super put together, confident, successful, always have the answer? Well, they have a secret. Kind of. Well, it's not really a secret, but it doesn't get a lot of attention because it's not really a flashy or quick fix. But if you can master it, you can master your life. They're lifelong learners. Whoa, I know it sounds really simple, but it is very powerful. What they do is they spend their time learning new things, improving themselves, and they like it. That is key. They're not forcing themselves to do it, it actually feeds them. They get excited about it. So, if you'd like to train yourself to be like that, because it is trainable, but it takes practice, here are 5 things that you need to know. 1. They experiment. Lifelong learners do not aim for perfection and they don't stick to what they've always known. They experiment to see what works and what doesn't. And when it fails, they learn from that too. They don't just try new things either. They take things that they're already doing and they wonder how can they improve it, how to make it better or faster or easier. And they enjoy finding new ideas, new ways of doing things, and new hobbies. Number 2, they embrace challenge. Lifelong learners don't just pursue challenge, they enjoy it as well. Hunting down new avenues of success, researching and testing to see what works, just for that brief moment of success, and then they do it all over again. They don't just enjoy the success, they also enjoy the struggle, the trial and error to get there. Not just focusing on the end goal, but the process itself. Whether it's because it's something new, it's a test of skill, or it gives them room to explore and express themselves, lifelong learners, they feed on challenge. 3. They know their strengths and weaknesses. Through trial and error and self-reflection, any lifelong learner has a very clear understanding of their strengths and weaknesses. What they're actually good at, or not, what drives them, what distracts them, what their interests and goals are. This allows them to effectively adapt what they're learning to them personally. And they choose to learn and live in ways that work with their strengths and adjust their weaknesses, pursuing both what they like and what they value, as opposed to the other way around, where they try to adapt their strengths and weaknesses to what they think they're supposed to do or what they're supposed to be good at. That's generally a self-defeating mission because your strengths and weaknesses don't change, they just become more. So working with them, you get further than working against them. Also, when they encounter an obstacle, they generally already know what they struggle with, so they already have strategies to work with it or work around it, so they don't have to keep fighting and struggling with the same thing over and over and over again. And through time and practice, they learn to maximize their strengths and leverage their weaknesses. 4. They pursue excellence. Any lifelong learner enjoys the process, of course, but that does not mean that they don't aim for better. They simply view it differently. So instead of the end goal being an ultimatum, better is a question and a challenge every single day. So how can I do this thing a little bit better? How can I make that thing just a little bit faster or simpler? Because they know that excellence actually is not just one big action, but many tiny decisions that build you up over time. They identify success and they aim for it, because even if you don't make it, you sure as hell get a lot farther than you were before. 5. They embrace change. So change is often seen as bad or scary, which is very understandable. Shifting the status quo, it opens up new risks, new unknowns, but it also opens up new rewards. So a lifelong learner sees change not as a threat, but as an opportunity to not just learn, but grow and experiment. New possibilities and new ideas, new potentials. This change can be externally driven or internally driven. So you can wait until you, say, move houses or you get a new pet, or you can actually cause it yourself by switching up your schedule, going somewhere new, trying a new hobby, and doing it that way, changing it up, which will open up opportunities to learn and grow. Because even if it doesn't stick long term, you still learn something each time you try something new. So, and these aren't just things that you can just flip a switch and have. Obviously, the reason they're so admirable is they're hard to get because you have to build them over time. They're mental skills that are practiced and honed over time, and oftentimes it can seem on the outside like they just appear or happen. Someone's just amazing and they're just that way. They were born that way, but it's actually not. That's actually not the case. In reality, it comes from a lot of practice and experimentation, and you only notice the end goal. You don't notice the trial and error beforehand, or if you do, those are the people that you look at and you see them as perhaps failing because they're trying things and they're not good at them as first. You don't see it until they succeed at the end. So it takes a lot of practice, takes a lot of experimentation and troubleshooting, but it is well worth it. Because if you can master learning and mastery, you can master your life. You can choose what you do, who you are, and decide your future consciously. And when you can make the work fun, it doesn't even feel like work. So I hope this helps. I'm experimenting a little with the formatting, so if you like this better, let me know. And if you think there's something that I missed on my list, also let me know. And until then, remember, don't do it because it's easy. Do it because it's the right thing to do. See you tomorrow.